welcome. Welcome to the last meeting of the semester. It's been a great semester with you guys, and we have lots of fun stuff for today. Miss Emily is going to present, and then we'll finish off with our raffle and our reveal of our SNDA swag merch. So, Miss Emily, if you want to take it away.
Sure. If y'all can hear me fine, I'll just stay seated.
Yes.
I'm assuming just talk about what I do, right? And my role to becoming a dietitian. So, you know, feel free to interrupt me with any questions that you might have, because I might forget some important highlights. But my name is Emily Caire, often mistaken for Claire, but it's Caire. I have a few other alias, Emily Fields, Emily Francione. I will respond to all of them. I am originally from New Orleans, born and raised there, came to LSU for undergrad, graduated with fancy Kanye West, and then I did my dietetic internship through Nichols, which, I don't know, sometimes they have their programs, sometimes they don't. I don't know if they have it this year. It feels like it's kind of off and on sometimes. So I think I was in their second class, their internship class. That was also the year that Hurricane Katrina hit, so I got to do some like fun moving around to complete that, so I'm just grateful I got to complete that on time. I probably did not take any of the traditional or recommended paths of, you know, the routes of what to do in your career. I did not have like a clinical year of experience in a hospital setting. I did very briefly, right out of my internship, work for a hospital for their outpatient program. It was actually only a few months. And I did mostly like new onset diabetic counseling. And for the most part after that, I've been more in what I call the wellness world, whether it's like corporate wellness or just wellness and health promotion. So mostly in that kind of vein. Honestly, I would tell you that I didn't really have much of a like idea of what I was gonna do as a dietitian. Like some people know when they start out, like, oh, I want to do this. I was like, this sounds cool, and I didn't really have like a defined path, but I'm really happy with where I ended up. So currently I work at the Student Health Center here on campus, and mostly I do one-on-one nutrition counseling with students. So the health center is only for students. I don't see faculty or staff, which is cool. That would be a lot of work for just myself. And so yeah, the bulk of my work is one-on-one nutrition counseling with students, and I see a variety of things and reasons that students come in. They can just, you know, want to know more about balanced eating, so they're like, oh cool, this is an option that I can take advantage of as a student. Some, I find it's usually more like the grad students or PhD students have like high cholesterol or an occasional elevated triglyceride. Other than that, it's a really large part of it is eating disorder work. So I also serve on the multidisciplinary team that we have in the Student Health Center, our eating disorders treatment team, which I'm the dietitian on the team. We also have a couple of therapists. We usually have a psychiatrist on the team, but we are without one at the moment. And then we also have a medical doctor that serves on our team from the medical clinic in the health center. So we meet once a week. We have actually a 2-hour weekly meeting, which sounds like an insane amount of time, but it flies right on by. We utilize that time to go over our student caseload and talk about any concerns and issues and who's doing well and who's not, and who we might need to refer to higher level of care and who can move on to like a more maintenance phase. So I certainly did not have any clue that I would be doing eating disorder work when I started in my undergrad work. I love it. It is super rewarding. It's super challenging, but super rewarding. I have definitely found some like resources that I think are super helpful for kind of filling in some of the gaps of what to do, how to counsel somebody with an eating disorder related to nutrition and their eating habits. So yeah, that's most of it. Any like specific questions? What you got?
So what's the difference between like outpatient and then nutrition counseling? Because I don't know if like anything like overlaps or if there's like bigger differences.
Like in terms of like
Like how you
outpatient and
treat-
just the terminology of it?
I guess, yeah, the term, like, I don't know.
I don't know either. I like just
Do you
saying
feel like
nutrition
it's, like,
counseling.
the same sort of stuff when you're
Yeah.
working?
In my opinion, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they're walking out the door, all we're really doing is counseling.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, the terminology probably can go like either way. But it is considered an outpatient setting when someone's seeing me at the health center. Because they're not like maintained under supervision all the time, like you would be admitted into the hospital inpatient or something like that. Any other questions or anything else you want me to share?
Talk about the interesting path to learning more about eating disorders, since that's not unusual. That's not part of our entry level training.
Right, very true. Yeah, I actually am not sure that I remember hearing a lot about eating disorders in my undergrad or even being exposed to it at all in my internship, which pretty much if you're working with humans that are eating, you're going to encounter an eating disorder when you're working with your clients. Like you can go ahead and just count on that. So yeah, I actually brought a couple of the things that I found to be super helpful. This, because I am old and I like paper, this is a binder that I printed, but it is an online resource. There is a dietitian called Marcy Evans, and she has an online training course that you get continuing ed hours for with CDR. So that's great because it was 34 hours. And so it's all these like modules. And this was something that I did a few years ago that somewhat validated some of the things that I was doing and also enhanced what I was doing. So that was really good and helpful. So I feel like if anybody really has some interest in working with eating disorders, it fortunately for me wasn't a financial investment, it was a time investment. My employer, thank you LSU for paying for this course for me. But I wish I had done it sooner. I wish I had known about it sooner. I think that's really helpful. There's like handouts and stuff that you can use with clients and like templates in terms of like your assessment and your notes and stuff like that. So that's an awesome resource. Even just like her website, which I think is just, I have no affiliation, have no kickbacks here. marcyrd.com is worth checking out. And then, what did I also brought just some other things that I used early in my work with just like, oh my gosh, now I have to like talk to all these people about like, and it's not just like, eat your fruits and vegetables. Like you have to like figure out what the heck is motivational interviewing and what am I supposed to, how am I supposed to like really move people towards behavior change. So I came across, I think these first. So these two workbooks were actually written by a dietitian that's also a licensed clinical social worker, which is super awesome. And there's like, there's 2 volumes here, but they're like really, really easy reads. Like it's pretty big print in here. You can see I actually highlighted it. I did read it. There's some tabs, but like I found these things to be pretty helpful in enhancing my motivational interviewing strategies when it came to counseling, nutrition counseling. So that was a great resource. Molly Kellogg wrote those. I don't know where I stumbled across this, but Inspiring and Supporting Behavior Change. This is also a pretty easy read, but pretty like practical stuff and examples of like what it would look like in a one-on-one session with a client or patient or whatever and like, oh, okay, this is like relatable. These are things that I would say. So those are really helpful resources. And then when I got to my office at LSU almost 7 years ago, these were just in the office, so these are cool. I obviously have used this one. This is nutrition counseling in the treatment of eating disorders, so that's really helpful. It does have a student health center stamp on it, so it does belong to them. Along with intuitive eating, which I also really like and rely on a lot of info to help guide individuals on their own path with intuitive eating. And there are tons. I printed this out and can leave it here. There are tons, but these are just a few of the social media accounts that I follow that I love a snippet, y'all. Like, y'all have enough reading and stuff to do, but like if you're really considering that work, or even think like, I just want to kind of enhance my counseling skills, those are useful resources across the board. But these accounts would be more specific to healthy relationship with food and body, and sometimes I will find one of the posts and put it on my desk for a couple of weeks, so be like, this one everybody needs to see. I'm sharing it with the world in my own way. So I'll leave this here too. So these are just some of the accounts that I like. And there's probably most of these also have like podcasts or TED Talks or whatever. Yeah, y'all can check those out. But I would say majority of the, enhancing of my skills related to counseling eating disorder clients happened after my internship. There was not a lot of conversation about how to approach that. Granted, I was in undergrad almost 20 years ago, so maybe it's a little different now.
Can you talk a little bit about your journey to becoming like a preceptor?
Oh yeah, I forgot I do that too. So yeah, I am. I know. Thank you, Olivia. So I serve as a preceptor for Our Lady of the Lake, or FRANU, and since they started their program in 2017, they've usually had like 12 or 14 interns. I think this year they might only have like 6. No, it's a tragedy. So really, I did some preceptor work prior to that at other roles, but this has been the most consistent. So they asked, and I just said okay. So that's kind of how that went. But not to do my own horn, but I have got voted preceptor of the year a couple of times in a row. So I'm happy about that. But as true dietitian form, or organized OCD, like I have a binder, and the interns have their objectives, so we just find ways to meet their objectives and provide them experience, and mostly observing a lot of sessions versus like they don't typically lead the counseling sessions because I'm a little possessive of my little sweet baby clients that it takes time to build rapport, so like having somebody different with them all the time would not bode well for their recovery. But so they get to do observing of my sessions, and then we kind of debrief afterwards, and so sometimes that's the only kind of exposure they get to eating disorder work as well. And then I am since I don't know how familiar y'all are with the Student Health Center, so I did bring brochures if anybody's interested, but feel free to bring the rest back for me. But the Student Health Center has 3 main units. We have the medical clinic, which is what most people think of. We have mental health service, so that would be like the therapy services, and then wellness and health promotion. I always do that because we're in the basement, naturally. That's where all the dietitians go. And so in wellness and health promotion, I'm actually the only dietitian in the Student Health Center that sees students. Our executive director, Julie, is actually a dietitian, and she originally started in my role. Actually, she originally started as a grad assistant, is what I've heard. So, like, I think she actually kind of crafted the role and has moved on and up, and she's also very amazing. But, I lost track. The Student Health Center. Okay, so, wellness and health promotion. I'm the only dietitian there, but we have wellness coordinators. We have a wellness coordinator. We have a vacant position. That is the story of our life right now. And we have some peer educators that we call them Street Squad. And of course, we have Olivia's the current dietitian assistant that is so lovely at assisting me. But the Department of Wellness and Health Promotion is responsible for outreach for the Student Health Center. So we will, and by we I mostly mean other people, but I occasionally do some outreach work. We do some programming on campus, which one of the programs that I'm responsible for and that I spearhead organizing is eating disorder awareness program that I call Trash Your Insecurities. So we have this, like, I call it an Oscar the Grouch garbage can, but it's just like an aluminum garbage can. And we ask students, like, hey, you want a free t-shirt? Because that's how you get students to do stuff, free t-shirt or free food, right? And they're like, okay. And then we ask them to write down something that they're insecure about and, like, crumple it up and throw it in the trash can. It sounds really simple, but it is surprisingly therapeutic. And then we, have a bunch of resources on the table, and then we ask them, we have a, like, big dry erase board, and we ask them to write down something that they feel confident about, whether it's a, physical trait or a personality or character trait. And so then you have this whole board filled with, like, all this positive stuff, and some of it's silly, but it's still funny. So that is the program that the last few years we've had it at the union, at UREC, in front of their social staircase, so that I like climate control, temperature control is cool. So I don't have to worry about it raining, but we do catch a lot of just foot traffic. We've done it in Free Speech Alley in front of the union several times as well, so it's pretty fun and raises awareness. And I do some other programming as well. I also get requests to speak to academic classes, mostly kinesiology classes. There's one instructor that requests me, actually there's two kinesiology professors that request that I can speak to several of their classes as a guest speaker, a little nutrition 101, a little eating disorder info. So I do that, and occasionally I'll get requests from student organizations, less about what I do and more about, like, nutrition basics, but yeah. Does that answer whatever question you started with, which now I don't even remember what it was.
Precepting, but yeah.
Precepting, and here we
Right.
are. Any other questions?
What's next? You're working on your master's?
I am, which is bananas. So yeah, I'm in grad school through LSU online, and I will graduate in May of 23 with a master's in leadership and human resource development. So I'm diversifying, and my hope is to expand nutrition services on campus, but we'll just see how that goes. But that was kind of the initial intent, and we'll see where the journey takes me.
It's very fair.
I'm gonna get a PhD.
No, heck no. I'm barely surviving this with work and kids, and yeah, this is where it stops. I'm pretty sure. That's what I said about undergrad, but
Here we are.
yeah, I really don't think I'll get the PhD. But
You could always get another master's. Just throw another one in there. Just for fun. Just for fun.
yeah, I'm good, I think.
That's fair.
Any other questions?
How would you define, like, your fulfillment in eating disorder therapy?
Like, what I get out of it?
Yeah, like, why is it fulfilling?
So like I said, it's super challenging work, so it's not like a one size fits all. So I like there's like a little bit of a puzzle, but it's within a defined area, right? So trying to, like, I would say it's a little bit like detective work, where I'm like, okay, I gotta acquire this information from the individual and figure out what their challenges and barriers are and what their thoughts and feelings are. Fortunately, I'm working with a team, so the therapist can help the student process what I call I'm poking the bear, because I'm asking them to do things that are uncomfortable. We don't want to fully provoke like anxiety, so there's a balance of like what is leaning into discomfort versus like I want to do that. So the therapist is super important to help process all that stuff that comes up. I would never, ever, ever, ever want to do this work without the team. And so just kind of trying to navigate the puzzle and the maze that is each individual, and then not everybody sticks, you know, it's voluntary, nobody's forcing them to be there, so sometimes they disappear, which is like a total bummer. But there have absolutely been times where I've started working with a client like they're not gonna make it, and then they end up like really proving me wrong, which is the best thing ever. That's probably the most rewarding, is when you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is gonna work, and I'm worried about this poor little person, and but then, you know, we work together as a team, and the client's the one that's doing the heavy lifting of that work. So when and it has happened a handful of times, because we do something called staffings with the student, where they'll come in with the entire treatment team and we talk about the progress of their treatment, what's going well, what's not going well, what we need to adjust. And sometimes we do staffings when they're either graduating from LSU or they're graduating from our program or Caire. And there have been a handful of times where they are tearful and like they say, you saved my life, you changed my life, and that is like not something I ever expected to hear. So yeah, it doesn't really get much more rewarding than that. Like the students sometimes cry. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't cry, don't do it. I'm like, forget it, I can't help it. So yeah, it can be like just really very touching. It's a privilege and an honor to have somebody feel safe enough with you to let us in on something that's super vulnerable and personal. Like our eating habits are really personal, and our feelings about eating and our body are super personal. So like sometimes I'm just meeting you, tell me your deepest, darkest secret that you haven't really told anybody else, is that's a privilege. And so yeah, just being able to see students improve and how it impacts their life, like in a number of ways. Yeah, that's how it's rewarding. Does that answer the question? Good, great question. Any others? No. Cool. I will leave student health center brochures.
My face is in them, by the way, so jump scared.
My cards. Olivia is also on the website. You're like, no, yeah, we should. Yes. There's usually famous. But I'm taking my books with me. But if y'all need the names of anything, you know who to contact. That's it. Pack up.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
And as a gift for your time, Miss Lydia coordinated this special gift for you.
Aw, thank you guys.
Lydia is the one in the
Awfully
pink
kind.
jacket.
Oh, thanks, Lydia.
And then face behind the name.
I like how it's like very school spirited colors.
I
That's
know,
nice. Thank you,
Sponsored by the
guys.
bookstore.
Thank you. All right, sorry, I'll just take.
No,
my-
you're good.
No, you're fine. Take your time.
Okay.
I look like a hoarder.
So a little housekeeping stuff. The meeting schedule for next semester is the same. Tuesdays, every last Tuesday of the month at 4:30. Hoping to be in the lobby again, maybe.
Good luck with that.
Maybe.
I hope y'all are in the lobby.
Yeah. It'll be a
It
little
won't be in
cooler.
this room, that's for sure.
Yeah. But mark those down so we can see each other every last Tuesday of every month next semester too. Concerning tracking volunteer experience, this link is still hot and ready to be used. Whoever has not tracked their volunteer experience, please do so you can get some points and that'll roll over into the spring semester as well. Take lots of pictures, like I said, service awards at the end of the year. Another volunteer opportunity with Nita, she's doing another distribution center on the 11th. I'm waiting on confirmation for another location that's also to be determined. The sign up link is the same, and if you have a question, her email is in this PowerPoint as well. But for the distribution, she founded a nonprofit organization that puts together packages for families in need around LSU. So it's not anywhere too unfamiliar. It's in the LSU area down Acadian. So it'll be near, and in the distribution, it will be near as well. Again, spring membership drive. This is something that Josh McKinley came up with.
Yeah, so I feel like having a record-breaking year.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do something we used to do years ago before all of you were here. Is that back in the day, students used to be required to get a buddy to join to get a point, a networking point. We got rid of that because I thought it was dumb. But I think spring is usually a good time to recruit new members because there's still a lot of freshmen that have no idea who we are. They have no idea what major they're in. They might discover nutrition or dietetics in the beginning of the semester. And so I updated the membership form, so dues will be half price just for this semester. And they can put in the name of the person who encouraged them to join. And so I can see that, and I'll give you a service point for that. So if you're looking for service points towards awards, member of the month, that sort of stuff. Let's see how many of these kids we can get in here. There's a lot of them, obviously, that haven't joined. But I think we're going to try to go after Club of the Year again. And that would be a nice thing to put that we had a record year of membership.
So find a buddy, be encouraging and welcoming, and tell them about SNDA.
Find a friend. Yay!
Yay!
Rachel's member of the month. She raised the most for our raffle, and she's always helping out with everything we have going on. She's awesome, and I wanted to recognize her. Is this the second time? Third time?
Third.
I don't keep track of that either. I don't look back at what I've done. But you definitely deserved it this month. Yay, yay, yay. I'll send you your certificate tomorrow. But I didn't do a December one yet, so in January, when we have our January meeting, I'll do a December member of the month and a January, so make sure you log all your stuff when you're home for break, volunteering during the holidays. Get all that stuff logged in there. So I'll look at that to determine the December one.
Congratulations.
I wasn't expecting that picture.
I totally, yeah, I creeped
No,
on your
yeah.
Instagram.
That's like on the field after the Alabama game.
Yes. Pre-sale starting today, ending the 14th. Comfort color t-shirts are $20. The sweatshirts are Gildan brand, and those will be $25. But a special offer if you get both, it's $40 flat. So save $5, and then use $5. That's like a Starbucks hot coffee
That's a whole
or hot chocolate. So yes, please follow this little QR code or the bit.ly link to get your orders in. This is a pre-sale. We may do some extra depending on how many people would like to order the pre-sale, so there may be a chance to get some in the next semester. But get your orders in, especially if you want them guaranteed.
Yeah, if you want a size guaranteed, you gotta pre-order.
Yeah. Sign in. Please.
So hot.
From the what? Yeah.
I'm so
All right. Raffle time.
Alright, I'm sitting in this spot. Alright, so this is how we do the raffle. Pretty much, if you bought tickets, we ask folks to buy tickets for an item that they actually want, so that they are happy with their win. So I have piles in front of me of tickets that were purchased for certain items, and I'll throw them in my trick-or-treat bucket and fish them out. And so I actually bought tickets this year since I'm not alone doing this, and I didn't want anyone to think it was rigged the last couple of years. So I actually bought some this year. Okay, so first we'll go in order. We'll do the Starbucks. Where's that file? Starbucks. Sorry. $25 Starbucks. So Cassie can be my Vanna.
Ooh. I never got to do this before.
So this will be sent via email.
Alright. Tessa Trappy.
Yay! Is that your mom?
Oh, that's my mom.
We'll email your mom. Alright, so everybody who bought a ticket will get entered in another drawing at the end for another gift card. Alright, Veggie Chopper. This was a very popular one. Very popular one. It's sweet. Alright. Veggie Chopper.
Michael Dominique.
That's my dad.
That's Rachel's dad. Yay, Rachel got a nice job. Alright, Saints blanket. There's only two. Two.
Mixing it up. Christy Lackey Rose.
It's my mom.
Yay!
Here's mom with the blanket. Stick that there. What's next? Jenga. Only a couple of Jengas.
The fun LSU. Tracy Painter.
Yay, that's Beverly's mom. Yay, Beverly.
I love that everyone's parents
No one
winning
bought
on us.
tickets for the ring light, so that's not being given away. And then I was the only person that bought a ticket for the mug and glass. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to regift it, and it's going to be the door prize at the brand holiday event. So if you want to come, if you're a member, 21 plus. Because it's at a bar. Okay, the speaker, LSU Bluetooth speaker. Two of those.
Christy Lackey Rose.
She bought a lot of
went
tickets.
off.
She bought one for almost everything.
Okay.
All right. Karen's getting a lot of good stuff for Christmas.
Oh no, it's for other people.
Oh.
Yeah, they just say these are
All right, the
reasons.
sweatshirt, the vintage sweatshirt that I have on me. If you're in the room with 2 minutes, not on my body.
I was like,
not this one.
I
I'm
was
like
like,
sweating
how
all
is
over.
It's a different color.
The vintage fall 2020 LSU nutrition and dietetics sweatshirt.
Alright, I'm really doing it for y'all. Okay.
Mixing.
Alright. Jessica Neal.
She's not here, but she really wanted it.
Yeah. Good job, Jessica.
Okay, so Jessica, I'll bring that to class. All right. So put that in the pile. All right. So last up is the iPad, another popular one.
Hold on, I gotta.
If you're here, I have it on me, on my person.
Alright. Who's getting an iPad for Christmas? Gotta separate them all.
Yes.
Okay. Tracy Painter.
Yay! Yay!
Good job.
Alright, so all of these are getting thrown back in here. So pick one more for an Amazon gift card. Little bonus thank you for buying tickets. If it's me, I don't want it. Pick again.
I'm trying. Okay. Olivia!
Yay!
wow, how exciting.
For your veggie
Cool.
chopper entrance.
Alright, so
I also entered for a gift card. I think.
yeah, you did.
You got an Amazon one.
So I will take care of this tomorrow with sending stuff out, and I'll be able to. Prices always change on Amazon, so I don't know how much profit we made yet, but I will let the group know. But we should have made a profit. If not, Brian, my husband, will make sure we do. All right, what else we got?
Connect.